geocaching is an adventure game that you take your GPS out in the wilds to normally look for a container that's been hidden by another geocacher. But there's this twist to geocaching that's called earthcaching, and that's where you're taken to sites of geological interest that show you something about the earth and how it was made. So as a person that goes and creates these earth caches, I'm always looking for something that's a little unusual that will enable me to teach people a lesson about the earth. So here we are in the wilds of Maine, and for the last hour we've been driving around and seen pretty well nothing but granite. Now granite itself can be a great lesson for people. Then all of a sudden, next to the road we come across a rock that looks like this. It's very unusual. It's got lots of folds and twists and bends, and it's made up of metamorphic rocks, and there's big flakes of mica and things like that through it. So it's very, very different from what we've been looking at for the rest of the day. So straight away it catches your eye and you think this might make a neat lesson for people, especially if they live in the area and all they ever see is granite. So one of the questions that we ask when we come across a piece of rock like this is it local or has it been brought in from somewhere else? And in this case, we found the outcrop that this piece of rock comes from just up the road a little bit, where they put a road in and it looks like they've rolled it down with a bulldozer and placed it here. Maybe the bulldozer operator thought this was a neat piece of rock to put. Maybe someone will turn it into their garden in this new estate. So it hasn't come from very far away, maybe 10 or 20 yards up the road. But being placed here brings it up so we can see not only on this side, but we can actually walk all the way around it and see how these layers stick out all the way around it. So what is this? My guess is this is a slab of rock. It used to be layers of sedimentary rock, and it's been caught up in some mountain building episode here in Maine, where plates collided and it got crushed up, squashed up and heated up, cooked into a metamorphic rock. But some of the layers, like this one here that I'm showing, was harder than the others. So it actually formed a different type of metamorphic rock. So this piece of rock here is a piece of quartzite, and yet above it are layers of schist, where we had more of a clayey sedimentary rock got turned into these schist layers. So this was probably once part of the ocean floor, and now it's been brought up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet above ocean level, squashed up and cooked by the surrounding granites over time, and eventually pushed up to the surface. And here it is, thank you to a bulldozer operator, up nice and easy for people to see. So to make this an earth cache, I'm going to need to take its latitude and longitude, so you know exactly where other people know exactly where it is so they can find it. I'll take some photographs and I'll go and do a little bit of research and then write up some notes that explain how this rock formed and why it is where it is. And then when people come, I'll have to do some sort of logging task to show me that they've learned something by visiting this site. And the logging task could be as simple as doing some measurements, having a look at the grain size, or maybe coming up with a theory of where the rock had come from. And if we do that, I might actually turn around and provide some coordinates for the outcrop place just up the road a little, so that they can go up and have a look at what this rock looked like when it was still attached to all the rocks below it, rather than it being loose like this one. So that's what an earth cache is, and that's how we set them up.